Spring of 2019, I was on the first session of my first retreat, on my first trip to Thailand. How many times have I been there? Just one, but I love when people get more interested when you say it was the first time. It was me with other 6 people, completely strangers, on a tiny island 700 kilometers away from Bangkok. To guide the session, we had a facilitator that looked like a shaman, with 2 beautiful assistants burning stuff with a funny smell. To open the session, the shaman said, lay down on the floor, wear sleep masks if you cannot keep your eyes closed, and trust the process. Who cannot keep the eyes closed? I've been training doing that every day since the way I was born. At that time, I had just taken a break from a career as an executive in big high-tech companies in Brazil to complete an MBA. I was closing million-dollar deals, advising CEOs, having a sweetener in the coffee and then a pack of M&Ms after dinner. Being in a Zen retreat was a whole new weirdness to me. And there I was, I lay down on the floor, trying to trust the process and nothing. I had to get one of those sleep masks. And after struggling for a couple of minutes, I gave myself the best motivational speech I could ever have gave me on that time. Tayana, you're paying for that, so you better make it work. There I was. After some moments, I could finally relax and I felt my body getting warmer. On my chest, my arms, my legs. And I felt like I fell asleep. Out of a sudden, I saw a big hand with a pencil drawing my lifetime on a big white wall. And that hand had a voice, and the voice said, you see this person who was born here? Pointing to 1999. Not the year that I was born, but the year that I suffered a car accident and I had a near-death experience on my 12th birthday. The voice continued, this person who was born here, she died when your daughter was born in 2015. This is why you cannot recognize yourself anymore. You need to know this new person better. And boo, the session was over. 3-hour session that felt like 30 minutes. And that message blew my mind. Yes, it made so much sense. I wasn't recognizing myself lately. And also, since my daughter was born, I started to finally feel good about identifying myself as a woman instead of a girl. Was it the death of that girl? I didn't know. But yeah, maybe I was so attached to my old book, to my old story, that I wasn't allowing my new version to come alive. After the session, I went to the shaman and asked, what happened to me here? And he explained, the session activated your parasympathetic system. Parasympa what? Turns out that this parasympathetic system is the part of your nervous system that turns off your fear-based behavior. Imagine how your life would be if you had no fear, no shame, no guilty. Would you be living the same lifestyle? Doing the same things? Having the same relationships? I found out that at the peak of his mental distress, Eckhart Tolle, who was named the most influential spiritual person in the world, outperforming the Dalai Lama and the Pope, he had this thought repeating in his head. I cannot live myself any longer. I cannot live with myself any longer. And he started to question himself. Am I one or two? Because if I cannot live with myself any longer, there must be 2 of me here, right? And maybe just one of them is real. Some other people you may know, like Oprah at 14, Walt Disney before creating Disneyland, and Princess Diana prior to her missionary work, they also had the same kind of thoughts of letting themselves die. before creating massive change in the world? Would those thoughts be a sign that maybe part of them needed to die in order for the newest version to come alive? Would it be a sign that the last chapter of one's book was over and there was time to start writing a new story, a new narrative, a great and exciting new book? I think of an important stage in our life just like a good book. At the end of it, we get attached because we don't know how the next book's gonna feel like, so we stay there for longer than we should. How many times have you done that to yourself? You stay in a relationship for too long, or you keep hating a job that you never quit, or maybe investing in a product that you know deep down that it's not gonna take you anywhere. In business, we call it escalation of commitment. Think of BlackBerry, Blockbuster, Kodak. We tend to justify bad investments in money, time, emotional commitment with reasons that our intellect creates to make us feel good. I was always like this. Everyone is doing the same. This is who I am. But just like those companies, people that attach to the old version of themselves, they allow themselves to die little by little. After that retreat, I became consumed by helping individuals and companies write their new narratives. It was terrifying. Terrifying. I gave up of some of the highest paid job just to follow my heart. And now I have helped hundreds of people to write their new books, start writing their new and exciting stories, integrating their work with their life purpose. Perhaps you want to see your life as one big book. That would make it easier and more predictable to know about the next chapters. Maybe that's true, but maybe, just like the best-selling books, the most exciting stories, they couldn't end in a single book. Think of 50 Shades, maybe Harry Potter. Would those books have ended in one single story? Maybe there's a part of you today begging for you to come alive. Maybe you feel that you cannot fit your old box anymore. And that's okay. Allow your greatness to come to the world. It can be painful, sometimes scary, but trust me, that's a worthwhile process. And by the way, the end of a book is not the end of the author, just the completion of a masterpiece. Right now, there's a whole new world just waiting for one single decision. And my question to you is, will you die with your book inside of you?